Welcome to the episode 2 of the Knowledge City podcast. As you are all aware, this show is to review books. It's also to help creators talk about why they create the content that we love so much. Tonight, with me, or this evening with me, is a very fine gentleman that hail all the way from the Volta region, Agbozuma to be precise, called Mr. Edem Kuenyefu. I hope I got it right. Mr. Kuenyefu.
Hello.
You are welcome to Knowledge City podcast.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
It's a pleasure too.
Today, the book we are reviewing is titled Epistles to Posterity. Epistles to Posterity. This is the book. It comes in volume 1 and volume 2. But we are going to dive into the volume 1 today. And he's going to tell us, first of all, a bit about himself. I don't want to do that because I might falter on the way. So please, Mr. Kuenyefu, tell me, when we say Mr. Edem Kuenyefu, who are you?
All right. Thank you, Akofa, first of all, for the opportunity to be on the Knowledge City podcast. I believe this is a coveted platform. And to be the one to come on this podcast after Dr. Lawrence Tete is a great opportunity you've offered me, so I'm grateful for the opportunity. Paul Edem Kuenyefu as a voice to the nations who have been under preparation for some years now. Well, basically, I am an itinerant inspirational speaker. Mm-hmm. I'm a writer, and I'm a business consultant as well. I have a background in accounting. I graduated from the University of Ghana Business School. Had a brief stint at Nestle Central in West Africa Limited, and I'm now into full-time inspirational speaking. So that's who I am.
Thank you very much for just summarizing all we have to know about you in few minutes.
Thank you.
This book, is it your first book or you've written a couple of books?
Well, this is more like my 7th book.
Oh.
I've written 7 books in total.
Okay.
I began writing in 2013.
Okay.
And my first book is To the Zenith.
To the Zenith.
Yeah.
So, when I contacted you, I asked which of the books you have written is so dear to your heart. And you told me it's this very book.
Yeah.
Epistles to Posterity.
Yeah.
Why is this book so precious and dear to your heart?
Thank you. Akofa, this book, Epistles to Posterity, is so dear to my heart because of this simple reason. In August 2017, I was sick, and this sickness took about 6 months of my life. And when I got well, I decided to write. And I decided to write because those moments or those months of sickness afforded me a time for serious self-introspection or serious self-reflection. And so this book is born out of self-reflection. And when you read the contents of the book, you realize that they are not just shallow issues, but they are issues that border on the critical issues of life. And I've decided to put them in the form of letters to the younger generation or the generation yet unborn. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Why did you even write a volume 1 and a volume 2?
All right. I'll give a brief background to the volumes.
Okay.
As I said, I was sick. I was dormant on Facebook for a while because I've been very active on Facebook as an inspirational speaker and writer. So one guy called me. His name is Eric Kojomate. Mm-hmm. He is from Agbozuma. We call him Righteous. So he was trying to chastise me as to why I wasn't active on Facebook over the period. When I made mention of the fact that I was unwell, he apologized a lot and then said that since I've become well again, he would like to hear more from me. And, I started deliberating, how can I reach out to people on this global platform, Facebook, and then impart them And then on one of my morning jogging rounds, the Holy Spirit inspired me of an idea that I should write letters to the next generation. And I was given 100 topics to write on. And the Holy Spirit downloaded all those 100 topics to me on that morning jogging round. So when I came back, I listed all those 100 topics that Saturday morning and then began writing on Monday.
Okay.
So there is a book written consistently over a period of 100 days. Now, after I compiled the book, I realized that it's going to be too voluminous. You know, people don't like reading large books.
Yeah.
So I decided to split it into two, 50-50. And that is why we have Epistles to Posterity and then Epistles to Posterity too. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Edem. You have told me that you started writing during the year 2013.
Yeah.
7 years now.
Yeah.
Did you just wake up and said, I want to be a writer?
Well, I just didn't wake up to be a writer. I remember when I was in my final year in senior high school, we attended a quiz competition at Soma Senior High School.
Okay.
That day, my cousin and I represented my senior high school, that's Town Senior High School. And in the competition were other schools like Soma Senior High School, Keta Business College, Abosco, etc. And my cousin and I, Anthony, we represented our school and we ended up winning that day. Now, when we got back home, I wrote in my file that one day I would like to write a book. Now, what inspired this notification in my file? At that event, Mr. Charles Nipson Agbagadi was there, a renowned writer.
Okay.
And therefore, it inspired me, and I said, I can also write. So I wrote that in my file. Well, I forgot that I even wrote that there. Now, in 2012, my mother was celebrating her 55th birthday. I just wrote some few things to inspire her. Now, what I wrote on my mom's 55th birthday to inspire her became the chapter 1 to my first book, To the Zenith. So that was how I wrote my first book. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Now, you said this is about 50
Topics
we have here.
Yeah.
So we are going to start with your chapter 1 and then we continue to the chapter 2.
Here we go.
The first one is God exists.
Yeah.
Tell me more about it.
Well, we live in a world where in the times we live in, there is some level of confusion as to whether we have been created by someone divine or we just sprouted out from somewhere. And there is a lot of confusion going on.
Okay.
There are people who don't believe that there is a supreme being, and those people call themselves atheists. Now, these people who call themselves atheists have become so vocal, and they have permeated all facets of society, and subtly they are convincing others that God doesn't exist. They do it through television platforms, through social media, and through all forms of media. And gradually children are waking up to think that there is no supreme being. So this first chapter, or this first epistle, is trying to say that God really exists. The Bible says in Psalm 14 verse 1 that the fool says in his heart that there is no God. Yeah, so I wrote this to assert the fact that God exists. Not everything can be explained by logical reasoning. Not everything can be explained by critical reasoning. Divinity has a role to play in who we are. We cannot believe that, okay, as Charles Darwin said, the evidence of evolution is direct observation, fossil fuels, things like comparative anatomy and comparative embryology. No, we cannot accept that. There is a higher power, and that higher power is God. He is the one who created us. So in this first epistle, I was just trying to address the younger generation or the readers that, look, God exists.
Okay.
And many people will come to you advancing arguments that he doesn't exist. But you don't listen to them. Don't be swayed by their arguments, sometimes sounding so convincing. But they ain't got all the answers.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's very good. God really does exist. He's God.
Yeah.
He created us. He comes in many forms.
Yeah.
To us Christians, he's our God and our Savior. And to other religions too, they have it.
Yeah.
Yes. So thank you for letting this generation know that no matter what, God still exists.
Sure.
And there is a supreme human being out there. That is God. Now, honestly, I have gone through your book and read it. I have always had something in my heart about parents and their children. So when I saw the chapter 2, that was about respect and honor your parent. Then I was like, that is what I'm looking for. This is what I want. Because if this generation will understand that it is the only commandment that was given in the Bible and God added promise to it, they will know how to treat their parent well.
Sure.
So you are going to give me a bit about respect and honor your parent.
Yeah.
It's my favorite chapter.
Okay.
So please break it down. What you are trying to let this generation and the generation yet to come to see this show or read this book, what you are trying to enlist on their heart, on their minds about this chapter 2.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Akofa. If you are watching us this evening, if you are listening to us, there is one thing I want you to know, and you already know. I'm just trying to re-emphasize it for you, as that you came into this world through the earthly efforts of two people, your dad or your father and your mother. Through their moments of pleasure, they conceived you and you came forth into this world. They are your parents. Now, when you were very young, even when you were a fetus in your mother's womb, they cared for you. They bore all expenses associated with your coming onto this planet Earth. And when you were born to, you've acquired the age you have acquired now, they continue to take good care of you. So you owe them serious respect. You owe them serious honor. Now, we are witnessing something funny in the times that we are in. The children no longer respect their parents, probably because they are more educated than their parents, because they are probably more affluent than their parents. And sometimes the disrespect stems from the differences in beliefs, in terms of faith-based beliefs. Their parents may be unbelievers, they are believers, or their parents are believers and they are unbelievers. So, and also probably because some believe that their parents could have done more in terms of catering or caring for them. So many people today are trying to disrespect their parents in one way or the other, and it is so wrong. You see, it's a biblical injunction for us to honor our parents. In Exodus, the chapter 20, verse 12, we have been admonished to honor our parents. And as you said, it came with a promise that you will live long. So longevity is a byproduct of honoring and respecting your parents. And therefore, it is actually a travesty, or it is actually a serious mistake for someone to disrespect and not honor his or her parents. And that is why I want to really draw the attention of the younger generation and then the generation yet to come, because they are the ones mostly not getting it right, probably because of influences of modernity and probably of cultural or acculturation, and that is what is responsible for the disrespect that we are seeing today. And this is something which has been mentioned more than once in the Bible. Even Ephesians 6 verse 2 also mentions this. So it means that if you see in the Bible, when something is mentioned more than once, it means we have to give it some level of seriousness. And that is why myself, I'm included, of course, because I'm not excluding myself. I'm not saying that, for Paul, he respects and honors his parents so much. No, that is not the word. That is not the case. As I write, I'm also admonishing myself as well to also obey, respect, and honor my parents as well.
Thank you very much. Yeah. We've got some of our friends watching us live. If you just join us, this is the second episode of the Knowledge City podcast. And the book we are reviewing is titled Epistles to Posterity, written by Edem Kuenyefu, all the way from Agbozuma. Thank you very much. I want to go through a few of our comments here. We have Gabriel Kafri Sado. He's saying, congratulations, Agbozuma Stars. Yeah. Thank you, Gabriel. We see you. We have Andy. Andy says, Stars, much love. We appreciate you. Please share the post and subscribe. It's being screened live on YouTube as well. So please go there. Tell a friend, tell a brother, share it. Please share it. Keep sharing it and keep giving us comments, and we are here to read all of them. Thank you for joining us for today's episode. We're still continuing with the book Epistles to Posterity. Thank you very much. Now, I noticed that in Epistles chapter 5, in the Epistles, the 5th chapter, you wrote about we'll take that one. It's also one of the nicest ones that I read and I was so happy about. So we'll see. Who is your friend? Who is your friend? I want to read a bit about this here for us to all have said. Fatigue nearly prevented me from reaching to you today. I had a sermon on common discipline to write to you this letter. Now, you just reassured people what you were going through before you decided to write. Then you said, who are your friends? Who are the people in those companies you regularly find yourself? Your friends influence you greatly in either positive or negative way. Therefore, you have to choose your friends carefully.
Yeah.
Who is a friend to you? If somebody asks you, who is a friend, what will you basically say?
Okay. A friend is that significant other in your life who you share some values with, who you have some level of affection for, and who, in a manner of speaking, as someone who knows a lot more about you by level of their close proximity to you. That's who a friend is.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Would you say this hard generation about, or majority of the youth are influenced by their friends?
Of course, there is peer pressure. There is also peer pressure. Peer pressure. Well, it means, what I'm just trying to say is that it is at levels, it is in dimensions, and it is probably in realms. Yeah, so a lot of the younger generation are being influenced by their friends, of course. And that is why we have to choose our friends very carefully. Okay. Yeah, and honestly, your value system determines the kind of friends you attract. Yeah. Who you are is the kind of friends you attract. So if you want to attract good friends, great friends, then you have to have great values as a person. Yeah, so, in fact, this is where a lot of people get it wrong. And I'm not excluding myself. I'm not saying I'm Mr. Know-It-All because I've written a book. No. As I said, as I've written this, I'm also admonishing myself to be able to choose my friends carefully. And I believe over the few decades that I've existed on planet Earth, I've chosen my associations very carefully. I remember what Charlie Jones said about friendships. He said, you'll be the same person in 5 years except for two reasons. the books you read, and also the associations you make. So associations, which are your friendships, also count in terms of whether you be transformed, or you stagnate, or you probably even retrogress as a person. Yeah. So in fact, the Bible says that be not deceived. Bad company corrupts good manners. Yes, bad company corrupts good manners. So you cannot just say, "Oh, he's my friend, though he has a bad character, I'm trying to transform him." Look, you are joking.
That's when my next question comes in. So let's say I've had a childhood friend for about 3 decades now, and then my friend is not contributing anything to my life, not necessarily money, not but not adding, any vibes to my life, and I am always adding to his or her life. What would you advise me to do as such a person?
All right. What will happen naturally in that form of friendship or relationship is that the level of closeness will not be there as it used to be, because somebody cannot always be giving and somebody always receiving. It should be a principle of reciprocity. It should be, you do it, I also do it. But if it's one person who is giving, the friendship suffers. So what naturally will happen without even you trying to enforce it is that there will be some level of gap between the two of you, and it doesn't come instantly. It comes gradually. It takes the gradualist approach. So that's what will happen. But there are times that probably because of empathy, because of sympathy, you would want to hold the person along and probably wish, emphasis on wish that the person would change. But that kind of change doesn't really happen without the kind of realization by the other party, himself or herself, that he or she is supposed to change.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you very much for breaking your books down. I think everybody listening to us is really enjoying it. We are still diving into the book titled Epistles to Prosperity. It's a book that he's written in the form of a letter to this generation and generation yet unborn. So please, when we are done, we'll put his distributors contact there, and you contact him to get some copies for yourself, your friends, as a gift. I think for now, one of the changes I would like to give to few people is that when your friend is having a birthday, instead of you to buy them cakes, why don't you go to a bookshop and buy a very good book written by a Ghanaian or written by whosoever and give to that friend? It's a very nice way of contributing to your friend's life than buying just a cake and going to chill and come back without adding nothing really good to it. So it's good we have started this movement. It's a movement about reading. It's a movement about making reading easy for every individual, for every younger generation, for this generation and the ones yet to come. We are still going into his books, and one of the chapters that also caught my attention when I read about it was money answereth all things. Somebody will tell you, Master, money doesn't answer all things. I have God. So stop telling me that money answereth all things. What will you have to say about that?
Well, you have God, then probably you don't really understand the God you have. Because God himself gave us money for our use. Yeah, so look, when Jesus Christ came onto planet Earth, he made use of money, and Jesus is God. Yeah, so if you say you have God and you don't need money, you are deceiving yourself, and that's probably why you are suffering. So money is very important. Aside the fact that the Bible said money answered all things, it's not Paul Edem Kuenyefu who says money answered all things. The Bible says it. Money answered all things. Aside saying that, the Bible says in Ecclesiastes 7 verse 12 that money is a defense, just as wisdom is a defense. So if you are rich, you have defense in terms of money. So if you are poor, you are defenseless, so to speak.
So it's good.
Yeah,
it's good to have money.
Yeah, it's good to have money.
You don't have to say I have God, so money, dear. Okay, thank you very much. This program is brought to you by Stardom Africa. They are the people behind all the, you see the Knowledge City podcast appearing like we are about to, hit a 1 million jackpot, Stardom Africa. We thank you very much, Stardom Africa, for believing in me and the little talent I have. Because my next point is actually about talent.
Oh.
It's about talent. You wrote something about talent.
Yeah.
You said talent is not enough.
Yeah.
Talent is not enough. Why?
Yeah. Good.
Me, God has given me talent. Now you are here telling me in this book that talent is not enough. Why? Can you tell me why I have to know that the talent that God has given me is not enough?
Well, thank you. Talent is not enough simply because growing up, I believe you've met a lot of talented people in your neighborhood, but they haven't amounted to anything. Or probably the talents they had, probably the singing ability to play football so well, probably even better than Lionel Messi and then Cristiano Ronaldo, and etc. People could paint so well and etc. But you realize that they haven't reached the zenith of their aspirations, or they haven't reached the top of those fields which they display the various talents in. So basically, talent is not enough by that example. Now, I took that topic from a book written by the global leadership expert, John C. Maxwell.
Okay.
He has a book which says talent is never enough. Why is talent not enough? First of all, the talent is something which is in its raw and unprocessed state. So talent which is not refined, talent which is not processed, can never be enough. That is why a lot of people are living their lives under their capacity. So they are underemployed, so to speak. So if you have a singing talent, you can sing. It's in its raw form. What you need to do is that, first of all, you need to polish that talent. You need to refine that talent. And that is why you need somebody who can help you sharpen or polish the talent. We call that person a talent coach, or whatever you want to call the person. Yeah, so you need someone who can help you polish and sharpen that talent, which can be beneficial to the entire world. So first of all, talent must be refined, talent must be sharpened, or talent must be polished. So that is the first thing. Then also, talent must be disciplined. You realize that a lot of talented people lack discipline. They think they are the big men or the big women in the room. Yeah, everybody must succumb to them because, yeah, even in the choir leader or anyone who could sing so well say, yeah, without me, the choir would not exist. So they act anyhow they like. So, and that kind of attitude doesn't take them far. Yeah. So talent must also be disciplined. Then talent must be given the right platform or the right exposure for it to be seen, of course. Yes, if you are talented and nobody sees that you are talented, you rot in the village or wherever you are. Yeah, so first, talent must be polished, talent must be disciplined or acquire character, and then talent must be exposed or placed on a lampstand. That's what we call the lampstand effect. It must be put on a lampstand so that it will be seen by the world.
So, thank you for that breakdown.
Yeah.
So it means that basically the last stage of talent is to be refined.
Yeah.
After it goes through all the process.
No, the first process
is to be refined.
Yeah.
Then we move to
first, after being refined, it must be disciplined.
After it's disciplined,
then it is
to
exposed.
avoid how do we call it? The person becoming too known
yeah. Where pride and ego, etc. Yeah.
Then it's moved to another stage.
Yeah, the stage where it is exposed to the entire world to see.
Because it has gone through that process and it's refined and it can now meet the world.
Yeah.
That's very good also. We still have people watching us.
Oh, that's great.
And so amazing. We have Kwesi Osei Tutu. He said, I love this discussion. My eyes are so glued to my screen.
Wow.
Thank you, Kwesi Osei.
Wow.
Please share it and invite your friends to like the page. Then first Nyamadi said, refined your talent. Wow. Then we have Kafui Akpaku said, wow, this is awesome. Then we have Albert says, what money can do, more money can do.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you very much. We're still on it, and it's so privileging to have you here. Like we said,
Sure.
we are going straight to marry well.
Yeah.
Marry well. Marry well. What does marry well have to do with this book, this generation, and then the generation to come?
All right, thank you. This is a very important topic, and I want to take time to explore it.
Please take all the time and explore it for me.
Yeah, but before I do, let me just quickly say that my lovely outfit was provided by Phil Cafe Clothing, and I want to give a shout out to Philip Akpaku for this lovely outfit. Marry well. Well, I first of all want to put on record that I am not married. So I'm not talking from a married man's point of view. I want to put that caveat out there in the first place.
Okay.
Yeah.
You are not married, but are you searching?
I'm not searching.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. My sweetheart is watching. Yeah,
Okay,
and
so
I believe she's.
please dive into it well for her also to understand.
Sure. I believe she's smiling right about now. Marry well. Many
marry
people,
well?
many destinies have been caged because marriage was not gotten right. I'm an observer. I pride myself as a very ardent observer. And I've seen a lot of gifted people, a lot of people who hold promise, who have not been able to deliver up to expectation because they got yoked with someone who has probably in one way or the other derailed their progress and probably kind of suppressed the abilities that they have. Marriage, from God's point of view, is supposed to be a platform for expansion. You see, the Bible says that one will put what? 1,000 to flight, but two will put 10,000. Mathematically, it doesn't add up because you would expect that if one puts 1,000 to flight, then two would put 2,000 to flight. But the Bible employs what we call a geometric or an exponential progression, where two is now putting 10,000 to flight. So it means that marriage is a system that God has ordained for man to become a bigger and a better version of himself or herself. Now, when you look at Amos 3 verse 3, the Bible says, can two be together unless they agree, or can two walk together unless they agree? Yes, it's a big question. And for people who are willing or who are in the process of getting married, they should go and read this scripture very well. Look, you have to get the right partner. If you don't get the right partner, you will suffer. If you are basing your decision on looks, if you are basing your decision on emotions, you are going to kill yourself. Let me be very simple with that. You are going to kill yourself. It goes beyond looks. It goes beyond emotions. It goes beyond nice words. You must find someone who understand the path, who understand the path that you are trying to tow. The greatest tragedy is when two good people who are not destined to marry, they get married. Yeah. So look, it is not about we have some feelings on in our bodies. No. You marry for purpose, not for love. And I'm saying this again. I believe that you marry for purpose and not for love. And even the love that we think we are marrying for, we have gotten a lot of misconceptions about the love. You see, as I said, I've said it in one of my short inspirational videos I do post every day on Facebook, that love goes beyond feelings, it goes beyond emotions and all the niceties we talk about. Love is a choice. Love, I attended the wedding of Esina Magbagadi, and I liked the preaching that the guy did that day. He said love is deep-seated thinking. You cannot say you are in love and therefore your mind doesn't work. It is a mistake. It is a tragedy, and it will end you in a horrible pit. So we have to be very careful. Marry for purpose. The looks, of course, you not marry somebody who you not admire in the physical sphere. Of course, you would admire the person's beauty, etc. But that should not be the focal point of the decision to get married. Yeah, so I know of people who got into this thing called marriage, and it has become a snare to them. It has become an albatross around their necks, and honestly, it has derailed their progress. It has killed their purposes, and it has derailed destiny. And that is why I said we should marry well. Of course, it is a note of caution to me as well, because I need to marry well. I have not gotten married yet, so I need to marry well. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that elaboration and creating us to understand why we have to marry people that understands us, because it gets to a time and love alone cannot keep the marriage.
Yeah.
Somebody was asking, he said, is marriage a Christian thing?
Well,
that's what the person asked.
Yeah, from the very beginning, we saw God establishing the institution of marriage. Well, if we say Christian, it means after Christ.
Yeah.
After Christ. And if Christ is the Father, then it follows that marriage is a Christian thing, and therefore it's good to marry.
It's good to marry. Thank you very much. Let's read few of the comments as well. This show is brought to you by Stardom Africa. Is brought to you by Stardom Africa. They have the studio at Medina. That's the studio we are doing the live streaming from, and powered by Merita DW Company. Thank you very much for staying with us. Let's read few of the comments. Mr. Amma said, great insights and educative. Then Isaac Kwesi Mensah said, I agree with you, Rita. I even bought a book written by a Ghanaian for myself on my last birthday. Big ups to you. That's very good. I think this is a movement I have started. When your friend is celebrating their birthdays, please don't buy them cake. After eating the cake, they will forget. So please go walk into any bookshop, get them a small book, wrap it well. It's an asset you have given them for the rest of their life. If they can't read it, their children will come and find it and read it. So, and we are also encouraging that you get the books that are written by some of our brothers in Ghana here, because they are also doing very well. So please patronize books. Buy books for your family, your nephews and nieces when they are having their birthday parties or having their birthdays. I have Mr. Amma again saying that great topic. Thank you, Mr. Amma. I see you. Then we have Afati Nokblim. He said, we pray for the multiplication of this talent on our soil. I love this guy so much. Big ups to you from Afeti
Nakplom. He's a big brother from Agbozuma. Yeah.
And then we have Gilbert saying, I love this program. Then we have Jose Bayen says, I'm loving this program, dearest. Thank you. Then we have Mr. Amma again saying, people pray for years and search through thoroughly, but they are going through marital problems. What will you say about that?
Yeah. First of all, I want to say again, or I want to put on record again, that I am not a married man. it might look somewhat of a theory.
Yes.
But this is the approach I use to problem solving in my life. You use day by day approach. As and when the thing surfaces, you deal with it. You'll be open with communication. A lot of marriages, first of all, were built on wrong foundations. Most of the people kept things from the other partner. They, in fact, sometimes even lied to the other partner, and those things have surfaced now, and they are causing problems. Now that they have surfaced, what do you do about it? Have an open conversation about it, and let there be that kind of commitment to change. If there is something that should be changed, you must be committed to the change process. But I want to reiterate that I'm not a married man.
Thank you for saying that for us. Sure. And one of our sisters said, marry for a purpose. Yes, please do marry for a purpose. And it's not always about, you can fast and pray, you can see visions, but if you don't marry for a purpose, please, your what you are destined for will not work for you. And then I have Sister Yvette, my elder sister, is watching. She said, loving the program. Thank you, Big Sis. Then we have Dr. Lord Wisdom Orison. He said, great words from my boss. So much wisdom. Thank you all for watching.
Thank you, Wisdom. Thank you, everybody.
If you have any questions, please dive it to us on the platform. We're still diving into Mr. Paul Edem Kuenyefu. One of he said this is his favorite of all, Epistles to Posterity. So we are still diving into it and making sure that we make the book easy for you. So we are just picking the pages, the chapters one after the other, not necessarily in accordance, but then we are just trying to, our main purpose is to make reading easy for you, so that when we talk about the book, because we've heard a bit about it, you get encouraged to go get it. So please, when we are done, we'll display a number you contact to get it for yourself. And also, I would like to apologize for the people who ordered for dangers of offense that have not yet received it. They are now printing new bulk for you, so when the printing is ready, we'll call you and deliver to you. Thank you very much. And it's still the Knowledge City podcast, brought to you by me, Akofa Rita, your host, and powered by Stardom Africa. Thank you very much for watching. Please tell a friend, please keep sharing, just keep sharing, and tell a friend, call your friends, let them subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. And we also need sponsors on this show. Have a loaf, they said little drops of water makes a mighty ocean. We are not expecting that we become very big before you come on board. This is the start of a great vision to encourage us to read. Evenings when you are alone with your loved one, you just read about a book online. Now we have platform, you can even listen to it. We have a podcast of this, so you listen to the podcast whilst you are lying on your bed and you are hearing us talk about these books we are reviewing. It's a great opportunity to make reading easy for you and to also learn and to also become more enlightened, because when you read more you get enlightened. Please, we'll go to one of the pages also, that is, have a long rope of tolerance. For me, when I read about it, I'm like, what is he talking about? Do you know how people can get on your nerves? But after reading, I'm like, the Lord is my shepherd, he will help me. So give me a breakdown on that.
Sure, the Lord is indeed your shepherd, and he will guide you even in the moments that you are incensed, you are livid, and you are angry. Look, we all get angry. No one should deceive us that he or she doesn't get angry. It's a lie, it's a lie, it's a lie. We all get angry on occasion. Now, in this moments of anger, we have to be very careful, because it only takes a split second to do something which you will regret for the rest of your life. So we need tolerance. And tolerance is an offshoot, or is a byproduct of patience. Yes, if you are not patient, you cannot be tolerant. And that is why patience, or what is called in other Bible translations, long-suffering, that is why it's a fruit of the Spirit in Galatians 5 verse 22 to 23. Yeah, so we need a long rope of tolerance. It means that people will do things to make you angry. They will do things that would make you livid and incensed, but you really have to be patient. It's not easy. It is something you develop over time. But in the process of developing it, what you have to do is to tell yourself that I want or I'm committed to this process of being tolerant. Now, being tolerant also means that you get to locate other people's views within the larger generality of views in a way where you don't quickly dismiss their views because you think yours is superior to theirs. Yeah, so that is also a dimension of the tolerance we are talking about. Look, many of the problems, even in marriage, as we were talking about, many of the problems there is because tolerance is not there. Yeah, but as I said, tolerance is not a given. It is not just something that is given to you and then it comes in a day or in a month or etc. It is developed over time. You have to go through the process of developing tolerance, developing patience. And as I said, it has to be a conscious, deliberate, determined effort. It has to be a conscious, deliberate, determined effort. It is not just something that will come accidentally. It doesn't happen just out of the blue. It's not by happenstance. It has to be worked towards. It has to be a target you work towards. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Getting angry is normal. That is your chapter. That is the Epistles 25. Getting angry is normal. Do you want to say that me getting angry and throwing water at my fellow sibling or friend is normal? Do you also want to tell me getting angry? I want to pick a quote from our first episode said by Dr. Lawrence Tete. He said, offense can make you get angry and kill somebody. And you said getting angry is normal.
Yeah.
Do I have to get to that stage and get angry and shoot somebody and go to jail and it will be termed as it's normal? Tell me about that.
Thank you. I like the way you put it. I said getting angry is normal, but I didn't say anything for your reaction to the anger. Yeah. So killing somebody is an offshoot of the reaction associated with the anger. So the anger itself is what I'm saying is normal, but not your reaction to the anger. So as I said early on, getting angry is so normal. Because look, if you don't get angry, it means that you are stomaching a whole lot of things. And you are just a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. And when you explode, it is going to be chaos. It's going to be disaster. Even innocent bystanders will be hurt. So it's good to be angry. And then in this moment of anger, you choose your reaction so well. Yeah, so it is our reaction that we must choose so well when we are angry. That is why, if I remember correctly, it is Proverbs 16 verse 32 that says something about being slow to anger. So it means that anger is there, but we should only be what? Slow to it. Yeah. So
thank you.
Anger is normal.
I'm really enjoying this reviewing, and it's a privilege to have you once again,
sure.
Mr. Edem.
Thank you for having me too.
And to our viewers, if you just join us, this is your #1 podcast in Ghana now. We are screaming live, the Knowledge City podcast. It's all about reviewing books, making reading easy for you. Sometimes you don't want to get the book to read, so we make it easier for you to go on our podcast. Whilst you're lying down, you listen to them. We also encourage in that we stop buying some gifts for our friends and rather invest into them. So I have started a movement that if a friend is celebrating or any occasion, I'll buy a book. And buying the books too, we also want to patronize some of our Ghanaians that are doing so well, but we have not heard about them. So we are projecting what they are doing to let you know that we've got good authors as well in Ghana here that are doing so well, energetic, and they've got so much in store for you. That's why this movement has started, and it's powered by Stardom Africa. Stardom Africa, my people, they are too much, and we give shout out to all of you that has joined us. Please continue to share and send us messages. We are streaming live on YouTube. Please watch it there. Subscribe. Please subscribe, subscribe, and let me hit that number, please, because after the first episode we've got something exciting. You don't want us to just do a first whole episode and season and then don't come back again. So please support us. If you are watching us and you also want to support this good cause, just we'll show the numbers on the screen. We want you to call them and then tell them we would like to sponsor the Knowledge City podcast. Thank you once again. So here, want to read your messages as well. So here with me is Mr. Paul Kuenyefu, and we are diving into Epistles to Posterity. Epistles to Posterity. I asked him why Epistles to Posterity. He told me it's like the letter Paul wrote to the people. So that's a form of what he has done. He has done it in the form of a letter to you. So please get a copy when it's done. We're going to be bold and confident. Now, I will understand be bold and confident to be like bold. I will misinterpret it and be rude in addition. So you are going to give me a different scenario about that we don't mix boldness with rudeness. Okay? So please break that to me. Be bold and confident.
All right.
But not to be bold, you need to be rude and confident. Thank you.
Thank you, Akofa. We have to be bold and confident. There are a lot of people who have lost many opportunities in life because they have been very timid. If I remember my Bible, it tells me that for God has not given us the spirit of fear or timidity, but rather he gave us the spirit of power, of love, and of a sound mind. That's what the Bible says, I think, in Timothy. Now, look, if you are timid, you will not get a lot of opportunities in life. You have to be bold. You have to be assertive. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people in life who have accepted timidity as the norm. And therefore, when they see someone who is a little bit bold, who is a little bit confident, sometimes they misinterpret it as arrogance and conceitedness. But that may not necessarily be the case. I'm not trying to say that, of course, people are not arrogant and conceited. They are arrogant people. In fact, I've met a lot of them in my life and continue to. They are very arrogant, and meanwhile, they have little knowledge too. But they feel they are the only persons in the room. There are people like that. They are truly arrogant and conceited. But as I said, there is a very thin line between confidence and conceitedness where you are seen as arrogant. Now, be bold basically meaning that you should have a firm conviction. Yes, you believe in something. Don't be afraid to voice your beliefs. If you believe the timing is right for something, go out all there for it. That is confidence. But arrogance comes in the form of you disrespecting others, looking down upon them, thinking that they are lesser mortals. That is where arrogance comes in. That is where conceitedness comes in. So we have to know the difference. Look, let's say you are presenting to me a business proposal, and you are timid, you are shaking. You are timid, you are shaking. It means that you are afraid of what you are even telling me. So how can I trust you with my money? How can I trust you with that opportunity? I won't give it to you. That's why from the onset, as you asked this question, I said many people have lost opportunities in life because they have been very timid. They have been non-assertive. Yeah. You should be unrepentantly confident about your beliefs. Yes, you should be unrepentantly confident. That is why, I apologize in advance if it looks like I'm arrogant or I'm conceited. But there is something about me. I believe in what I have. That is why I believe I'll flourish anywhere I go on planet Earth. Today, if you put me in an auditorium in London, if you put me in an auditorium in Westminster Abbey, I will deliver big time and come back to Agbozume. It is not arrogance, it is confidence. Yeah, in what I have as a result of what God has given me and how I've been able to work on it. Yeah. To the stage
that is good.
You
are really, really deep. You are a very intelligent young man I have met, and I'm so grateful that I called you and you came.
We give glory to God.
Yeah, I want to take few of the comments once again, please. I have Anthony Ago. My elder brother is watching. He said, good job. Kudos to you guys. And I have Emmanuel Adesu again. I am very happy about this program. Please, Emmanuel, share and invite your friends to like our page. Go to our YouTube channel and also subscribe. Please subscribe. Then I have another cousin who is here. He said, it's not your fault that people provoked you, but it's your responsibility to control your anger. Thank you very much for that. We really appreciate it. It's very deep. It's very deep. It's very deep. Keep your comments coming. We are reading them. We are so grateful you've joined us, and myself, I'm really enjoying myself here. I'm learning a lot. As you learn, as you invite people here, as they keep talking, you keep learning new things. Your scope of understanding becomes more bigger all the time. So it's a good program. Like I said, please tell your friends, keep sharing to get to that friend of yours. And the movement is on. It's buy a book for your friends on their birthdays or any occasions, and patronize Ghanaian writers that are writing. Okay, so thank you for staying with us. This is the second episode of the Knowledge City podcast, coming live to you from Stardom Africa studios and powered by Merita DW. Thank you very much, and we appreciate your support. We're still diving into, we have few minutes to go. Before that, we will take two last chapters of his book, and then we will call it an evening. Thank you. So we're diving into last bit one of your chapters. Then we will do acknowledgements.
Sure.
This book is really powerful.
It is.
It is. When I read through the soft copy yesterday evening, I wanted to do a few last minute apple.
Yeah.
So, and I noticed that it's really inspirational. And you said, it's good. You're not married, but you seem to have some married things here. So that is why 46, you said, please adore your spouse.
Yeah.
Why in Epistles I should adore my spouse? Tell me about adoring your spouse. What are the things we should do to adore our spouses?
Well, I want to start with the question, why shouldn't you adore your spouse? This is somebody that you have professed your love with. This is somebody you want to spend the rest of your life with. So why won't you adore the person in the first place? So I think it is the very basic thing you have to do. Adore your spouse. If you are listening to me, you are married, adore your spouse. If you are dating or you are courting, please adore her, because that's where it starts from.
How do we adore? Is it adoring? Does it mean that, hey, adore? How do we adore? Adore, do I give you a peg? Do I hold you? Can you tell me what adoring all means to you?
All right. Adoring your spouse or your significant other has or comes in various manifestations. Probably I want to touch on just a few.
Yeah, just a few.
One thing that your spouse, believe you me, irrespective of sex, male or female, would love about you is when you value his or her opinion. That is one of the things that he or she would see as adoration. Yes, because if we are in this together, in marriage, you are saying we are, look, gentleman, lady, we are in this together. So it means that each of our views count, right? Yeah. So if you are not valuing my opinions, you are not valuing my views, then it means that we shouldn't be yoked together in the first place. So, in fact, this is something missing in a lot of marriages. And that is why a lot of people have problems with patriarchy. But I want to say, in the strongest of terms, that patriarchy has its role.
What's the meaning of that?
Yeah, patriarchy, where it seems that controlling influence has been given to the man.
Elaborate the word again.
Yeah,
each of the books we review, we take a new word, and he's mentioned a word here. So please, can we mention it again?
Yeah, patriarchy.
Okay.
Patriarchy basically means where a lot of controlling influence is given to a male character over a female character. Yeah, that is patriarchy.
That is our word for today. Our new words for today. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Patriarchy has its role. We should not attack patriarchy. We should address the genuine concerns associated with patriarchy. I'm talking to my women. I'm talking to the ladies out there who have made it a point to attack patriarchy. They should relax. They should relax and have deep learning about patriarchy. Of course, patriarchy is being abused. Yeah, so we have to address the genuine concerns about what? Patriarchy. Yeah, so it starts with communication. And you are not communicating when you go out there lambasting one party. Yeah, so there must be what we call dialogue, especially in conflict resolution. There is the central element of conflict resolution is dialogue. And if we cannot dialogue, then there is going to be a problem. If one party goes to the rooftop and is shouting from the rooftop, then there's a problem. They will tell you they've tried dialogue. It has not helped. So that is why they are going out there. Okay. But look, going out there is not supposed to be the solution. Yeah, we could explore other avenues. But look, getting back to the issue of adoring your spouse. So I started with the fact that you should value his or her opinion. Then secondly, there must be assurances in form of words of affirmation. When you read the book by Gary Chapman, the 5 love languages, one of the languages is what? Words of what? Affirmation. Yeah, so words of affirmation have to be there. For me, as an individual, words of affirmation work on me a lot because I'm somebody who loves words. That is why I'm a speaker. I use my words to affirm the positives in other people and bring out the best in them. So let's affirm our spouses. Honey, I love you so much. You are an awesome man. You are an awesome lady. In fact, there couldn't have been a better partner for me. Those are nice words you should say to your spouse, and they are words of adoration. Then also, you adore somebody, you show it in terms of love gifts, of course. Yeah, that's also another love language in Gary Chapman's book. So it means probably I'm borrowing from Gary. Gary, thank you for the book.
That's nice. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm still here with Mr. Paul Edem Kuenyefu, and who has written about 7 books, and his favorite one is Epistles to Posterity, Letters Offering Timeless and Timely Counsel and admonition. So please get a copy as well. I'm still reading your comment as well here. If you just join us, this is the Knowledge City podcast and brought to you live here at Stardom Africa, powered by Merita DW. I'm really enjoying this evening's episode. My brother is got a lot. He's a powerhouse, as you see him here. He looks so quiet, but he's got a lot in him. So please, when we are done, we'll let him tell you more of his books that he's written, so that you get one for a friend on his or her birthday. I have another one here. I want to read some few messages. Very soon we have been wrapping it up. Our time is fast spent. Very important book there. Amazing reference, boss. My last question to you. God gave you a revelation to write Epistles to Posterity, and you have written it. What impact do you want to have on this generation and the yet unborn? And what word will you leave to them with today's program?
Well, thank you. My impact stems from my purpose in life, and I discovered purpose about a decade ago. And I think the third thing I spoke about in Epistles to Posterity is discover your purpose. I discovered mine about 10 years ago, and it is basically simple. I believe God has brought me onto planet Earth for only one purpose, and that is I have to use my words and my deeds to heal the hurting, lift the fallen, restore the broken, and encourage the discouraged. That is the only reason for which I have come to planet Earth. Now, to the people listening to me, or to us this evening, I'm not the only one here. We are having a conversation here. The people listening, and now to the people listening to us or watching us this evening from their homes or wherever they might be, this is my message to you. Life is serious business. I'm not saying you should be rigid about life and then not be playful sometimes. But look, life is serious business. We are living in a generation, we are living in times where a lot of people all only want to see the entertainment value of things. So wherever you go, even in church, even in serious board meetings, many people are looking at entertainment value of things. Of course, entertainment is good, but we also have to focus on the needful before the entertainment. This generation is a playful generation. But believe you me, if you can employ and deploy a little focus, you would get to the zenith of your aspirations, and you'll be the point of reference for your contemporaries. And I want to say finally that any good and sustainable thing takes time to build. And therefore allow yourself to go through the process. Don't be in a haste. Anything that goes through the process of minting, that goes through the process of molding, that goes through the process of forging or being forged, as something that lasts for a lifetime. So I remember one of the books written by Jim Collins, Built to Last. It's a business book, Built to Last. You have to build yourself as a human being to last and proceed to build others after yourself. Not basically that they should take the same abilities as you, but you build them after your strategy to also be people who will last in the marketplace of life and be very impactful in what they do to our world. I believe you've got it in you. Let no one look down upon your talents. Let no one look down upon your abilities. You are a giant waiting to take our world to the highest levels of development. We are counting on you, and we will support you every step of the way. Thank you for watching us this evening. Be blessed.
Thank you very much once again, lovely people. This is where we end the second episode of the Knowledge City podcast, brought to you by Stardom Africa, supported by Merita DW and Mr. Kuenyefu. When people would like to buy this, we would like to get a number that viewers will actually call to get a copy. So can you quickly give us that number on our screens now?
If you want to get my books, you contact a gentleman called Elikplim Agbagedi on 0240 933 0240 933 Elikplim Agbagedi 0240 933 Thank you.
Please tell your people to share our podcast.
Yeah, sure. Share
and subscribe.
Yeah, share and subscribe. First of all, subscribe to the Knowledge City podcast page on all the social media platforms, on Facebook, on Instagram, and all the social media platforms. And then share the Knowledge City podcast videos, and then let us get the message out there. Let's get the people watching, because it is a beneficial program. And when you get glued to it every time we come live, to your homes, you'll be blessed. Shalom.
Thank you very much. I am so grateful. I've always been your host and will always be. My name is Akofa Rita, and it's so humbling to have you, and you people allow me to come to you in your homes, in your offices, wherever you find yourself. Before listening to us this evening, we hope we've imparted something in your life. We hope you've learned something. We hope you've got the idea that you don't always have to get other gifts for your friends and families, but you start to buy books to give to your nephews and nieces and everybody that is having an occasion. It's a good way to start a movement, and I'm grateful for my support system, Table Company. I'm so grateful for being our main support system. God bless you. And I want to give a shout out to my spiritual fathers, Reverend Dr. Lawrence Tete. He was our first. He officially opened this for us. I want to say thank you, God, Daddy, for giving us the opportunity, and to my spiritual parents, Reverend Prophets Francis Ahin and Mrs. Sally Ahin of Olive Chapel International. Thank you all. Have a lovely evening, and see you on our next episode, which is also going to be very, very amazing. Have a lovely evening once again. God bless you. And before we leave, we don't let our guests go empty-handed. We always have a gift for them. So we would like to give Mr. Kuenyefu here our branded t-shirt.
Wow.
That is the City Podcast.
Yes, it's very
and
lovely.
We also have a very nice mug here.
Wow.
That you will keep.
Yeah.
And drink also from. We have him here as today's guest, and we say God bless you.
Bless
I am
you
so
too.
humbled that you honored my invitation.
I'm also
grateful.
humbled and appreciative of the fact that you invited me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a good evening, everybody. God bless you.